Yo, good evening or good morning to everyone over here. This is IonStorm. We are streaming Genshin Impact this week. How is everyone's week so far? Genshin Impact 3.5 patch has released since yesterday, and we have a new character right now, Dehya. How many of you guys have actually pulled for her already? Or are you actually saving up for future characters such as Mika or Baiju? Hey! Hey, hello, Wilton. See your character build. Is it on your profile? Let's see. Which character do you want me to have a look first? Shall we have a look? Oh, I like this. I have C1 Dehya. I want C2 but play with her a bit before deciding to spend more. Her C1... Oh, I actually... When looking at Dehya's constellations, right, of course... We know that constellation usually is really going to be very helpful for characters, but Dehya's C1 actually looks pretty good for where she is right now. I think that is probably the way I will put it. Her numbers not exactly very big, so the C1 is actually going to give her quite a good amount of boost since it really allows her to deal more damage, scaling off from the hit point percentage, you know. Okay, so anyway, we are looking at one of our channel members over here, Wilton's Yoimiya. He is actually safe to say that he's a Yoimiya main. This Yoimiya stats is actually you can actually say it's close to perfection already, man. I like it. 79. It also actually has some elemental mastery. Let's have a look. Okay, this is a refinement 1 thundering pulse. What are the artifacts? Oh, good roll. Very solid roll. We have a 10.5% crit rate over here and also 44 EM. What about this? Oh, so this explains why the crit rate is ridiculously high. So this pyro damage bonus goblet actually, goblet comes with the 15.9% crit rate. Also actually comes with attack percent, which is what Yoimiya actually needs. Wow. You have luck out, my friend. The luck is absolutely up there. Oh, this is another absolutely insane sense that we can see on the screen right now. Yeah, 11 point, because usually most of the time you will see is crit damage usually is the larger number and crit rate is the smaller number. I believe that over the past in my previous Genshin character artifact reviews, I've actually mentioned this before. Most of the time when you have a look at this 11.7 and 16.7, offhand first thing you might think that it is actually the crit rate is the 11.7 and the crit damage is 16.7. But when you have a closer look, you realize that actually the crit rate is the larger number over here, which is 16.7%. Crit damage is 11.7%. Okay, it's still double digit, but 16.7% crit rate is really very ridiculous. Because the fact that we know crit rate is a finite stat, it maxes out at 100%. So the more crit rate you are able to achieve within a single piece of artifact, right, is actually absolutely big value. So that is why usually you see when we talk about the CV of an artifact, right? If I recall correctly, the crit you need to multiply by 2. The crit damage is the multiplier by 1. So actually we can see that the crit rate over here is actually ridiculously insane. This is like what, 33.4. Then plus this, we are approaching about like what, 45 is it, CV of this particular sense. has elemental mastery as well. That's insane. Oh, how do you guys actually farm this kind of artifacts? You know, it's RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. I miss you. Hey, hello, Ice Bear. I miss you too, man. Sis, sometimes when you PM me in game, right, it will take me a while to reply. But be assured that as long as I see your PM's messages, right, I will definitely reply. Yep. So I was actually talking about artifact pieces. You know, there are multiple layers of RNG mechanics in the game. I believe all of us who have played the game so far knows and well aware of this because of the disappointing experience we may experience. When you farm in the artifact domain, what are the chances that you will get a piece that comes with crit rate and crit damage? The chances is not as high. Then it comes with another situation where it comes with 3 rolls. Maybe it comes with a crit rate. Then when you level up to +4, maybe there is a chance it may come with another crit stat. So that is another RNG. Then when you level up to +8, +12, +16, +20, is also another layer of RNG because you wouldn't know if the leveling up will go into the crit stat, or you will actually, or if you happen to be unlucky, you will go into the flat, like for example defense stat. That is another RNG. Then finally, when you go into the crit stat, there is a range as well. I do not know what is the min max range. I believe that the max range for crit rate is about 3.9%. So you also cannot tell whether it will give you the maximum range or give you the minimum range as well. That is also another layer of RNG. So I suppose the developers designed this to keep farming until someone actually lucks out and get a insane piece of artifact. So this kind of double digit crit artifacts is definitely sought after by most of the players in the game, because you can invest a lot into the talents of your character, but if your artifact luck is bad, there is only so much you can do. Since we are limited by the raisins, there is only that much of a amount of attempts we can play per day. So this is really a very good role. This one is another one. So this one is another one. Like, what crit rate is higher than crit damage, and all 4 stats are effective stats on Yoimiya. We can see that it's a 4.7% attack and also has a flat attack as well. Crit damage in also, we see that it didn't went into crit damage, but that's fine. Yoimiya actually, her bow, her BIS signature weapon has crit damage, 66%. So what Yoimiya actually needs is actually crit rate, because Yoimiya fires a lot of shots. She's a rapid firing character. You really want to have most of the shots, right, to crit as much as possible. So if you cannot crit, right, no matter how much crit damage you have, right, it really doesn't matter. So personally, I really approve this build. 91.5% crit rate, very very solid crit rate. Also has 200% crit damage. A very very strong Yoimiya we can definitely see. Hey, hello, Angel. I put all my best pieces in those characters. Wow, nice stats. Indeed, this is Wilton's Yoimiya. We are looking at a Constellation 3 Yoimiya earlier on. So before we talk about Dehya later on, let's have a look at the character he has displayed for us to review together. So now we are looking at Ganyu. You know, most of the time when we play Ganyu, people actually talk about you don't really need a lot of crit rate because of 2 reasons. Firstly, we have the Blizzard Slayer set, which gives a tremendous amount of crit rate. But the prerequisite, there are 2 layers. You know, if they are inflicted by cryo, you get some crit rate. 20% was it? And if they are frozen, you get another 20% more. Then along with cryo resonance most of the time, then you get another 15%. Then along with the ascension of Ganyu Winnow, when you fire off the charge shot, why can't I actually click on this? Well, you know, you also get crit rate after you fire off the first bloom shot as well. So this is a triple crown Ganyu over here. We haven't have a look at the artifact, but I'm assuming that if you have 71% over here, this should be a wondrous troop. Yes, correct. This is a wondrous troop Ganyu. So we have 71.5% over here. So after when you fire off the bloom shot, we will be looking at about 91.5. Is this another 90 over percent crit rate Ganyu with 12% crit damage as well? Most likely this Ganyu is playing Melt Ganyu. That is what I'm actually thinking of. So oh, that's a good amount of energy recharge over here. Crit damage is 17.9%, has attack percent as well. Hit point, of course, we wouldn't say hit point is a extremely important stat for Ganyu because her health isn't a lot to begin with, but having some hit point on Ganyu is always better than nothing because effective health means that you can probably avoid being one shot in the event if you didn't notice your shields has expired or the enemy actually hits you so hard that the shield actually breaks. So having some effective health is always good to have. Whoa, what is this 36.5% crit damage over here? My eyes! My eyes! This is a cryo damage bonus goblet. Holy shit. Wait, what? What kind of roll is this? I thought I would only be able to see this kind of rolls in community posts where once in a while you will get a player who got extremely lucky and they will actually flex it in the community on what they have actually rolled for. So this is actually the first time I'm seeing one of a fellow players that I know of actually gets a stat piece. And most importantly, it is on a goblet with effective element as well. Comes with crit rate, crit damage. Think this, you can, how many years of luck have you actually burned through to get this piece of artifact? I'm not too sure, man, bro. That is incredibly insane. So this explains why your Ganyu is still able to hit that magical mark of the 200% crit damage despite holding on to a Amos bow. That is incredible. I think I think all players who play Genshin wouldn't reject having this. Everybody will definitely want to have such a. This is absolutely perfect. Regardless of what kind of CV you want to talk about, saying that it doesn't have 50 CV, all this, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter because this is a goblet. If you want to get a good goblet, it's already damn hard. And if you can get all the stats roll onto this, right, on a DPS character, that's probably what you will ask for. Yeah, that is a god roll. That is definitely a god roll. Okay, Storm Cage. So this is the Sense of Eon. We have a 10% crit rate over here and a 20% crit damage along with a flash stat of 16 attack stat. But overall, it is still very, very safe to say that this is a good sense. Usable for any characters that you want to swap around with because this kind of stats, at any point of time, if you want to change and feel like using another character, you want to mix and match, right? This being part of the emblem of Severed Fate, right? You can actually form up a lot of artifact combination for different characters. So this is actually a very this is actually a very, very good piece because it has very good career prospects. That is what I will actually say. You can use it in many situations. Okay, let's have a look at the feather. The Plume of Death. This is another situation where on the first glance you get smoked by the feather, bros and my sisters. The crit rate is actually higher than the crit damage. Huh? What is this? Aside from the defense percentage over there, there's nothing bad to actually talk about. And this one, in fact, who knows, someday maybe if you want to play some Goro archery build, you can actually try to stuff this on. Of course, normal people wouldn't want to be playing a Goro build, But that is a good roll, man. Awesome. Last but not least, we have another close to 30% crit damage over here. The flower. Very, very good rolls. No wonder your Ganyu actually has this amount of stats on her, and also can maintain over 2000 over attack list, and also of course being Wondrous Troop set, that's why you have 96 elemental mastery as well. Okay, so this is a Constellation 2 Ganyu. I actually kind of like the idea of Constellation 2 because being able to throw one more Lotus, right, to taunt the enemy is definitely welcome, because when you taunt the enemy, it means more survivability and for you to reposition yourself, whereas when you are playing as a archer as well. So it's always good to have. Okay, so moving on. This is a triple crown Keqing. We talk about Wilton, who is actually a big fan of Keqing, right? So it's not very surprising to me that he actually has a triple crown Keqing for sure. So this Keqing over here has 75.4 and crit rate, and as well as 221 crit damage over here. Pretty good stats. When I look at this, right, I'm actually wondering if this is holding on to the Mist Splitter Reforge, because the hit point percent over here doesn't seem to be very high. And Mist Splitter Reforge most of the time, no, not most of the time. In fact, it doesn't come with any crit rate. It gives you crit damage. So I'm betting this is most likely a Mist Splitter Reforge Keqing. Yes, I'm correct. Actually, in terms of appearance wise, right, aesthetically, right, this sword actually goes very well with Keqing because it's purple. It matches her outfit, her color, her hair as well. And when you think about Keqing holding on to the Primordial Jade Cutter, right, which is green in color, of course, stat wise, it's going to make Keqing look really very good. But when you are a fan of this particular character, right, you will want to strive for perfection. That is probably what I will think of. That is my personal opinion. Okay, we have a 4-piece. Wait, yeah, correct. 4-piece Thundering Fury over here. 4-piece Thundering Fury. Let's start with wow. Fun fact. I played the game for 2 years. Until today, I do not have a crit rate Thunder Summoner's Crown. I have no idea why is that so. The game just refused to give me a main crit rate along with a crit damage. Or rather, I would say that it's not that I didn't get any crit rate before, but it just wouldn't roll any crit damage for me. So basically, in my inventory, such a piece of artifact doesn't exist, This is something that I would really love to have. And it comes with what? 27.2 crit damage. Really? How? When we look at the first two characters that you have, right, there are already quite a number of really very good pieces here and there already, man. Then when we look at your Keqing, the first piece, this kind of artifact is what I see, right? What have you been doing with your account, man? Is there some secret way that I can pay Hoyoverse to boost the good drop rates? I wouldn't mind, man. I don't want to keep getting disappointed with the rolls. Tell me if you know that there is some secret way, some insider way that I can pay to win. I don't mind cheating a little bit, but very very nice piece. That is what I would definitely love to have. I mean, as long as it's a hit piece, right, a circlet, right? When anyone finally, after when you roll until plus 20, when you see a 27.2% crit damage over there, you will be over the moon, man. So sometimes when you think about it, as me who okay, recently I didn't spend as much as I used to, but however, when I look at good artifact pieces like this, right, the sword is still there, you know, the sword. I'm experiencing high amount of sodium in my emotional capacity, man. My well-being right now is filled with sodium or the sword. I'm jealous. Okay, next up. Okay, let me have a look at what you gotta bless Ion. Yeah, please bless me. I've said this multiple times, 1,000 times. I need good artifact pieces. But then again, you have people who, when I want to roll, right, you have people like Diablo, right, who is always cursing me over the chat, right. Then my luck value immediately goes down, man. Okay, that's a joke, by the way. So I feel like Thundering Fury domain not Ion Fortune plays. The only way minus farming is those things like Madman. In the earlier days, I actually spent a lot of time farming in this domain, but just that nothing good actually happens for me. So that is why I have to cope by copium. You know, I really have to cope with it. Some other artifact pieces to try to mix and match and see what I can get. So this electro damage bonus goblet that you are looking on the screen right now. Oh god, what is happening right now? This is another 15.2% crit rate. Bro, are you actually hacking? Tell me about it, man. Is there some cheat code? Please tell me, okay? I promise I won't tell anyone it's secret. Okay. Okay, that aside. This is what? Wait, this also has 11.1% attack percent over here, which is a relevant stat for Keqing. Okay, crit damage, of course, 7%, but then again, you have a 15.2% crit rate over there. Crit rate is always more difficult to obtain when you think about it. Each level when you ascend, right, is only maximum about 3.9%. I love this, man. Yeah, your voice became a robot a moment ago. Yes, you are correct, because I literally placed my mouth right in front of the mic. Another piece with the crit rate, which is higher. What have you been smoking, my friend? Can you tell me how do you actually farm this kind of artifact from the domains, man? This is another 12.8% crit rate attack sense over here with energy recharge. Okay, energy recharge is not exactly the most important stat for Keqing, because her Starward Sword actually only has a 40 burst cost. But like I say, it is not a useless stat, you see. It is still an effective stat over for any characters. More energy recharge is always welcome. The crit damage 5.4%, okay, that's fine. But the crit rate is actually fantastic. This one seems more normal to me. So it's a 5.4 crit rate and a 19.4% feather over here. This one seems that the domain has actually decided that you have been farming too many insane pieces. So although this is still good stats to have, but it finally feels more normal to me right now because I do have something like this for Feather. But you know, Feather most of the time is more likely that you will be able to get a crit stat over here because your flat attack is already stuck at here already. I mean the probability. Wait, let me have a look. I'm sorry, Ion. I was weak and summoned for Dehya. It was a terrible idea, but her character story was so good I couldn't help myself. It seemed more normal to me. It's okay. At the point of game, it's just so character that you enjoy. Yeah, absolutely. I think that let's be very open over here. Us, all of us. Hey, hello, Kenny. Always great to have you here. So I was actually saying that for all of us, I can say that we are pretty much veteran players of the game already. So we should have already come to a point that we have the consensus that meta is no longer that important to us, because when we talk about meta, it should be strictly applicable to a few types of groups of players, namely newer players who are more of a free-to-play or lower spenders who wants to get the maximum reward fast and efficiently out from the Spiral Abyss. Because in the overworld itself, pretty much it is not a really very big difficulty for as long as you bother to invest time into the game, regardless you spend money or not. It is the Spiral Abyss that we actually need to talk about meta. Then for us who are veteran players, we already have enough time and have sufficient character pool in our arsenal to be able to handle the higher difficulty contents pretty much with ease. When I'm talking about ease, whether you get 9 star or not is really up to individual preference, because this is not a competitive game. Nobody says you have to 9 star the Abyss every 2 weeks to be considered as a good or strong player. It's just whether you like the challenge or you wanted the extra rewards. It's just a perk. 600 Primo Gems, when you think about it, it's like what? Three pools? Yeah, correct. It's about 3 pools. It's good to have, but it's not everything. So with that being said, that for our case, all of us over here, you spend your Primo Gems because the Primo Gems is earned by yourself. So you pull for the characters you like. Whether do they feel comfortable to play or not, that's another thing. But most importantly is you pull for the characters that you like. You want them to be running in the overworld so that you can control them, try to mess around. The character is totally your type. That is, I think, the fun factor comes in. I mean, I can tell you one thing. This is more of my personal opinion. I said before, I don't like Scaramouche as a character. I absolutely don't like this guy. I mean, I pulled for him. For showcase purposes, I actually still bother to level up him, the friendship up to level 10, because that's just a habit. But outside than that, right, I don't use this guy. Because no matter how strong he is, right, as long as I see his face, right, I don't really like him. So that is the thing that I emphasize is you pull who you want, strong or weak. It really doesn't matter, because you have other characters to help you settle some things. Like, you know, in a company you have different groups of employees. Some are better in something, some are better in other things. As long as you can use the group of characters you want to handle the more difficult contents, then playing and pulling for the characters that you like, you enjoy, that is absolutely fine and correct in my opinion. Hey, so this is, yeah, correct. You mentioned to me before, this is Constellation 6, man. He has a grudge against Gara. Yeah, you don't see me talking trash about characters most of the time, because everybody has their preferences, but in terms of strength, all this, right? When we talk about meta or usability, right? For me, I always try to keep it as objective as possible, because I'm here to try to make things work. Even though we know that recently Dehya is released, we know that currently her kit doesn't really synergize very well with a lot of characters, or in fact, all pretty much most of the characters in the game at this moment. And also her damage numbers at Constellation 0, even at the higher talents, right, with all the strongest buffer, right, still seems to be on the lower end. So the user experience itself might feel a bit lacking. But like for my case, like today when I shared a video today on how I'm playing Dehya, I use her basically mainly for tank and also for the iron body purpose. So she still has her users. So I belong to the type that when I pull for a character, I will want to try to find ways to make it work. So I do not know in future what do Hoyoverse have in plan for her. Maybe there will be some artifact sets. At least I don't want to appear that I know everything, but let's say that in future she has artifact sets, or she has certain team comps that can make use of her capabilities. We wouldn't know. Similar to how when Kokomi was released, she got doom posted to the depths of hell, negative crit rate, all the healing. You don't need healing because what, you got shields already. What is the use of having her? Till until now, you see her usage rate, how many team comps she's able to enable. So doom posting this kind of thing, I don't think anyone, I don't really think that you should buy it or be too affected by it anyway. So yep, he's not the only one who has a grudge towards Skara. Okay, we just saw that this is a Constellation 0 Raiden Shogun. So let's have a look. So we have a 60.2% crit rate over here, 155.8. Sorry, 158.8% critical damage. Wait. Is this fine? It doesn't have any electro damage bonus. Am I missing something over here? Is this the catch? Ah, I see. This is the catch. I mean, for a moment, offhand, I totally forgot about the catch, but luckily it came to me right before when I click on the weapon, because yeah, when you have the catch, most of the time you should be using is an attack goblet. So this build is perfectly fine. Till today, I will still say that I really want to have one Refinement 5 the catch in my account, because I really think that this is a really very very good weapon. Free to play or not is one thing, but has energy recharge, right, and actually gives you extra 12% burst crit rate and also increase your burst damage, right? Considering this weapon is free, is really very good. But I really don't have the patience to do all the fishing this and that, right? So until today I don't have it. That is the very unfortunate part. If not, this will permanently stay on my Xiangling already, you know. I like this weapon a lot. I have a personal very high. I personally highly rate this weapon. It's a really very very good weapon. Not like some other free weapons, you know. When you get through all the events, right? They are simply just toys, you know. Most of them, of course not all. Some events, like for example, Albedo sword that replaces Harbinger of Dawn, but I know that newer players cannot get that sword, right? I cannot remember what is that sword's name. They probably have to use Harbinger of Dawn. But the Albedo sword is something that you can use. So we have a look at the artifact. So we can assume that the Raiden Shogun, actually when she is bursting, right, she effectively has 72% crit rate, because the bulk of Raiden Shogun's usage is actually on her elemental burst anyway. So this is a 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate Raiden Shogun. Very very decent. This is really very decent headgear over here. So what do you say? I actually use attack cup. Yep, correct. It's free, but it costs sanity. Why do you think Albedo does not have a 5-star signature weapon? Albedo has a 5-star sword. Summit Shaper. I believe that you guys are talking about Summit Shaper, right? Of course, Summit Shaper. The stats on Summit Shaper, I think if you are talking about Summit Shaper, is I have to draw a very big question mark on it, because the stat itself, right, is actually attack base. But we know that most of the time, how players will be using Albedo, right, is to have him come onto the field, plant the elevator flower thing. I don't know what you call that, what transient blossom or what. Often I cannot remember the name, but when he comes in, throws the E, swaps off, and that E scaling is actually based on defense. It only counts into attack is when he puts on the floor. When he puts on the floor, right, the instance of damage, right, actually does scale off attack. But whenever it triggers, right, the coordinated attack, right, that thing is absolutely scaling on defense. So that's the thing that I do not know if Summit Shaper is actually supposed to be his weapon or not. But why does Albedo doesn't have any signature sword? This is actually a very, very good question, man. We know that most of the standard banner characters, so we talk about the Lu, Chi, Mona, Jin. Did I leave out anyone? Okay, we don't talk about the recent like Tina or even Dehya, but the very, very OG standard banner characters, right? They also so-called don't have a signature weapon. So-called. Although we know that you will associate the Wolf's Gravestone with the Lu. Then after that, I don't know which sword you will actually associate Jin with though. Offhand, I don't remember. Then Chi, I also don't know what kind of sword is actually her BIS for her. Until today, her kit is the most confusing and most questionable design that I've ever seen in the game itself. Then of course, Mona, until today, I'm still using a Favonius Codex on her. So why Albedo is considered to be part of it, I do not know. Perhaps at some point of time, in the early days, right, the developers actually had a discussion that maybe we should include Albedo in the standard banner, but throughout the way, maybe they have some plans actually changed and this thing was actually dropped. Maybe because you know that the standard banner has no geo characters. The recent introduction of Tinari into the banner is understandable. We need a Dendro character to be in the standard banner, so that's fine. I do not know why Dehya was actually introduced into the standard banner, for what reason and for why I do not know. But you should expect that most characters that are being put into the standard banner, their base power, we talk about just base power at C0, will be more conservative in terms of the scalings. Because probably the designers, the developers will be thinking that as you so-called lose 50-50 along the way, you will get the constellations, then you can power them up through constellations. But it's not like their constellations are super OP and fantastic. When you think about one best example is Mona C6. What does Mona C6 even actually do when you actually dive into the ground for X seconds and the next charge attack will actually do much more damage? Who actually does that anyway? So yeah, Jin's constellations are probably one of the best in the standard banner. It's actually really very powerful, and in fact, some of the characters' constellations are in the newer characters. Constellations are actually Jin's Ascension, which if you can recall right now, is when you use Dandelion Fuel, you actually get a refund. Nowadays, when you see some characters, they have very, very high burst cost. The solution, pull for a certain constellation, their cost for their burst will be reduced. That becomes a constellation. And when you think about Jin C2, the attack speed and the movement speed, right, without any condition, just her picking up the particles, that is actually OP, Damn OP. but you don't see that in many characters nowadays. They have very questionable constellations as well. Summit Shaper, yeah. The Summit Shaper, I don't understand the logic of Summit Shaper though. Summit Shaper is, I haven't even actually seen anyone promoting or talking positive things about Summit Shaper. In fact, Summit Shaper is more of like a, to me, if you ask me, right, it's more of like a virus or a poison at this very point of time as we speak, you know. So meaning if you go into a weapon banner, maybe let's put it this way, that you want to get a Staff of Homa. Of course, we know that Staff of Homa is just over, but let's just take an example. A Staff of Homa, then after they rerun with Summit Shaper. Are you going to spend your Primo Gems into the weapon banner? Because if you lose, you are going to get a Summit Shaper. And are you going to use a Summit Shaper? And for who, for what you are going to use it? I don't know, man. It has almost no practical usage because you need to use a shield to further amplify the attack effects. Then, what's the point, man? It's not a very useful sword lah. It's more of, to me, it's really like a virus, you know. Summit Shaper, the most forgotten weapon. That's true. No much people actually talk about Summit Shaper. Okay, so let's have a look at the let's continue and have a look at this, right? Scarlet Vessel, which is Wilton's Raiden Shogun, using the catch. Very good stat. Very good stat. I just like the idea of having good crit stats over here. Of course, I personally always value crit rate, but if in the event that when it actually all rolls into crit damage, right, nobody will actually mind anyway, as long as it rolls into one of the crit stats, right? It is always a nice thing. Just don't roll into some flat defense stats or those kind of crap, you know. So this one approved. This one nice, awesome. Okay, this is nice energy recharge, because everybody knows Raiden Shogun has to use the energy recharge sense because it actually synergizes with her ascension, the ascension skills. So we can see that our friend over here has pretty much struck a good jackpot over here with a 10% crit rate and a 22.5% crit damage over here. That is good. That is really very good. This one also another one. You see that when your emblem set itself, right, comes with 4 effective stats. Raiden needs attack, we know. Electro damage bonus. Was it? Yeah, electro damage bonus. Correct, if I recall correctly. So, having extra energy recharge in any one of the pieces, or in fact 4 of the pieces, right, it's always a good roll. We can see that it's a 4 effective stats. So last but not least, this is the Magnificent Tsuba. 6.6% crit rate and also 20.2% crit damage, along with a flat attack of 31. We can also see that this is actually a useful, very useful flower. Overall, we can still say that this guy over here, right, probably has some hacks in his account, right, that makes his rolls, right, so good. Because when we see that your character has one good piece, we will say that well done. The hardest thing to do in this game at the moment, right, is to get a complete set with at least with the 4 pieces, right, all functioning and combining as a good statistic for your character, you see. So that is why we always have this copium alternative is 2+2, because 2+2 is more likely that you are able to get good 2 pieces and from set A and 2 pieces from set B. So 2+2, then you try to make up for the losses. But 4 piece, if you want to get 4 piece with all good stats or functional stats, right, it's very difficult, you know. So we can see over here for Wilton's case, right, we can see that this is a full set, this is a full set, this is a full set, and this is also a full set. So he has 4 characters that is functioning. Wait, this Cookie Shinobu has 706 elemental mastery. What constellation? Constellation 0. 881. Okay. What's the weapon? Sacrificial sword. Wait, sacrificial sword but has 706 elemental mastery. Oh? So all these pieces must be EM main stat, isn't it? But when you think about EM, that means that some of the pieces over here must have rolled some EM, isn't it? Because the sword doesn't give any EM. Okay, let's start with the flower first. Ah, there we go. This Thunderbird's Mercy has the hit point, has the energy recharge, and also has elemental mastery, which is fundamental for Cookie Shinobu to actually do more Hyper Bloom damage, and as well as part of her scaling for healing, right, actually scales with EM. So having more EM for Cookie Shinobu is a very useful stat. This flower, wow, what is this? What is this? Sorry, this feather. This feather, I think you can get about, maximum is about 100 plus, right? Was it 100 plus elemental mastery from a feather? This is 84 elemental mastery. We know a couple of rows have actually went into the elemental mastery, but how is it possible that the crit rate is still 6.6 and crit damage 14.0 and it still has attack percent? So I believe that most likely this feather, when it drop, right, this 4 set should exist already. So when 0 to +4, right, immediately is one of the stats increase rather than you gain a extra stat over here, the 4th line, you know. That this is actually pretty insane. It's not every day that we will be able to see such a nice feather over here, like for strictly for Cookie Shinobu. That is what I would think. Okay, this is fine. Has hit point because Cookie Shinobu actually needs hit point. Also comes with a good 7.4% crit rate for Sense. Wow, Elemental Mastery Goblet comes with crit rate and crit damage. Fun fact is, you guys know that it's really very difficult to get a EM Goblet, right? EM Goblet has a lower drop rate compared to the headpiece and the Sense. It's not very easy to get a EM Goblet. Then when you have this guy actually gets a EM Goblet and also comes with the crit rate and crit damage stat, right? So I'm really confused at how come this account's luck is so good, man. What is going on? What? Okay, Elemental Mastery. Okay, we have attack stacks over here and also along with crit damage over here as well. Okay, pretty good. This Cookie Shinobu is actually pretty interesting though. Okay, wait, I want to see if this is this Faruzan over here. Oh wait, this is a DPS Faruzan. Has animal damage bonus. Okay, she's using Refinement 1 Skyward Harp. So at the moment, this is 2-piece Gladiators Finale and 2-piece Viridescent Venera. Wow. Whoa. Wait, bro. What is this 14.4% crit rate doing over here, man? You actually have one of the roles actually went into defense, and you can still actually churn out 14.4% crit rate in this circlet. Really? Is that okay? Oh, crit rate, crit damage, animal damage bonus goblet. Although we have some hit point percentage rolls over here, you can see that actually some of the rolls actually went into the hit point. But like I say, as long as it's an correct element goblet, You know, this Viridism Venera is actually for animal users, and you actually have animal damage bonus on an animal set, and you have crit damage on the goblet. Very very lucky, bro. Oh wow, what? You have another piece of close to 30% crit damage sense over here. That is pretty ridiculous. How many of these kind of 30% crit damage, close to 30% crit damage artifact parts you actually have crit damage as well? It's unfair that your account is so good. Okay, this feather. Although we see no signs of critical damage appearing on this feather itself, it's quite clear cut that this crit rate is ridiculously high, you know. And also has energy recharge, which those who play Faruzan will know that her burst really requires a huge amount of energy recharge. Unless you have her at C6, then your energy recharge requirements will be eased. Last but not least, what is there anything else that I need to actually add on to this? This is close to 50 CV flower already, you know. Wait, what? You have what? 20 pieces of close to 30% critical damage artifacts. Okay, this is a Constellation 0 Faruzan. 9, 10, 10. Pretty awesome. Thanks for sharing, man. That is actually quite an eye-opening experience to see how insane your artifact sets are, man. As I'm going to farm artifact, it really makes me think that if I can get this kind of luck or not. Oh, of course, I will be pleased if I am able to get this kind of artifact. Then I'll be able to produce more explosive spiral abyss contents. Wait, why is the music so damn loud over here, man? Wait, let me heal up a bit first, man. One unfortunate thing about Dehya is I'm not too sure why is her elemental burst right being set at 70. When you think about playing Dehya, right? Sometimes when you want to have her on field, she throws that E button, plants the sword on the ground, does the coordinated attack damage. Then there is really nothing much else she can do aside from swinging a sword. Then if you have a Bennett, of course you will be C6 Bennett to be exact. Then of course you can do some pyro damage, otherwise you will be doing physical. I mean, that is normal. So the next thing we can see about another source of damage if you want to play her is her burst. But that E practically generates non-existent particles, man. So that being said, right, I mean, I've been trying to find ways, right, to see if I can make they are a DPS character. But however, it just seems to be pretty difficult to be able to showcase her as a DPS. Not only her scalings are very very conservative. If you want to let her be able to burst much more often, right? You need a lot of good energy recharge. Probably I think about at least 150% to 160% to have a chance to be able to cycle through the elemental burst. Then you also need hit point for her case because part of her scaling is from hit point, although it's not a lot at C0. So that is probably the main reason why I actually have her at being a main tank position. Morning, Ion. Hey, hello, DiCaprio. It's been a while since I heard from you, man. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Best of luck, man. Full course out for out course 70 while skill barely have energy plus during out form the skill field disappear. I was like, bro, you serious? That is the thing that I don't really understand. Oh no, I'm out of space. The you see is that in my post that I talk about Dehya, I was actually saying that there is much more to be understood about Dehya because I have a feeling that we might not be getting the full picture yet, because that it doesn't seem like there are characters that synergize very well with her. Her kit has a lot of, you know, like when you buy a puzzle box, then when you start piecing up the puzzles, right, before you actually piece out, there are a lot of holes here and there. It just feels that we haven't been able to see the big picture yet. So I don't want to go into a full conclusion that Dehya is completely trash or this or that or this, right? But at the moment, to be very honest with you, using Dehya definitely feels very yow. But oh wow, the rolls are exceptionally bad, man. But I have to burn through the artifact anyway. So yeah, so I was actually saying that because right now what she can offer, there are a lot of characters that can do it better. If you are talk about mitigation, anyone will actually first think of, oh, I have shoes. Oh, that is absolutely disastrous. But okay, let's just talk about for her case, right? When we talk about mitigation, you have shields. For her mitigation wise, right? You even actually have something like she will actually take damage when she's off you. I don't know the intention of this design. Is it supposed to synergize some artifact or some character skills in the future? We do not know, but at this very moment right now, if you're talking about free mitigation, let's just don't talk about shield alone. We just talk about mitigation, meaning damage reduction. When you have a look at Xingqiu, he actually has damage reduction ratio. So you get this when the orbital swords are actually active. Then for Dehya, of course, she has a higher damage reduction ratio. But for Xingqiu, this is free. Xingqiu doesn't take any damage, you know. Then we talk about shields provide you absolute iron body. That is for sure. You don't get interrupted when you have shields. But the only good thing that I can talk about is you wouldn't know when the shield will break. That is one thing, because until today, the quality of life improvement for shields, meaning the shield health indicator, shield duration, all this, right, you still don't have it. So you don't know when your shield will break. And also sometimes when enemies hit you too hard, the shield might break instantly and you are unable to cast the shield immediately due to cooldown. So for Dehya's case, this particular ability called the Gold Force Form, right, when you cast the E skill, right, it guarantees you, as long as you stay within the field, you are guaranteed to have this iron body for 9 seconds, meaning you can really do anything you want and you won't get interrupted and fly away. To me, this is cool. This is also great, but Phil being Phil, you know, in the past that we always advocate how good Bennett is, right? But as how they design the game for enemies, right, started to be able to easily push you out of the circles or stand far away from circles, running here and there, right? Field related kind of attacks, right, have its limitations. So that is a bit unfortunate that you actually have to stay in the field to get the absolute iron body, and it actually lasts 9 seconds, and as a activation of 18, as a cooldown 18 seconds, very long. So what happens without this 9 seconds? I'll get juggled here and there. Is that what you're trying to say? So that is the thing that currently my impression is that whatever she has to offer right now, there is someone in the game who does it better. So I'm still trying to figure out, because we shouldn't be looking at the DPS direction already. Her damage is pretty lacking. That is for sure. So this topic is strictly actually talking about her usability and comfortability when playing. So let's see if my Nahida can stand how long in this field. So I'm going to heal back already, right? But then again, right? Dehya's character is one thing. Her signature weapon. Her signature weapon is actually I personally felt that this signature weapon is actually really very, very good though. Because we don't have a lot of how many claymores do we have actually as crit rate? Only the battle pass weapon, right? That bone sword. What bone sword? What is the name actually called, man? Oh, it's called Serpent Spine. Dehya cannot use Serpent Spine, by the way. You need to be aware of this, man. Because even if she's off here, she takes damage, right? The stacks will still continue to reduce, So Serpent Spine is a no-no for Dehya. So anyway, Serpent Spine wise, right, is the crit rate claymore we have in the game. So this is probably the second crit rate weapon that I can think of for claymore. It gives you actually attack, but of course the condition is the second layer of the attack, you need to actually take damage. But the cool thing is, if you don't get shielded, right, you actually have your hit point increased by 32%. So you will probably can think of right now offhand, right? For me, I think most of you should have guessed, right? We putting on to Diluc, right, might have some good career opportunities over there. Yeah, it's weird because they did the reverse of power creep with Dehya in every way possible. Low multipliers, slow trigger on skill, and damage reduction in a game where shields exist. If a weapon played well with shields, she wouldn't be good, but she would at least be better. So, yeah, I agree with you, bro. Cause the thing over here is, like early on how I was actually talking about, over here we want to make things work, but at the moment, the job vacancies, let's put it this way, the job vacancies have been filled at the moment. So whatever Dehya has to offer, there is a better candidate that can fulfill the job. So it will make it seem like this is not a limited character, but this 5-star character has very narrow job opportunities. Because when we want to use her as a damage dealer, she is unable to utilize Vape. You know, her main source of her damage comes from her elemental bursts. Those rapid punches, which is extremely cool because when Hazel was released, right, I was actually talking about I like fighter style. So when I saw Dehya's burst being such a fighter style, right, I'm very very impressed. But even without testing, right, when you look at just this description itself, right, you know that Xingqiu and Yelan cannot work with her already. I will unable to cast elemental skill, perform normal charge and plunging attacks. So this normal attack, all this, right, will be replaced by Roaring Barrage. So you know that, okay, there goes. You cannot synergize with Xingqiu and Yelan, which is one of the strongest off-field hydro support we have in the game right now. Then of course, I have heard from some people sharing with me that you can consider pairing with her with Nilo for the watering. But my personal opinion is that because Nilo's watering, right, I believe that applies a hydro rate at about 2 seconds. So I believe that this should be pretty much close to our lady over here, the pyro application rate. But what I wanted to emphasize is Nilo already has a superb comp for her, which is the Bountiful Blossom. It wouldn't really make sense for me to just try to want to make things work and just use my Nilo to be the hydro applicator for Dehya, just to try to whip a certain amount of punches. That is at least how I feel about it. In many cases, right, what I felt is that we know that Hoyoverse has been pretty much clamping down on especially these two. One is the reverse melt, and also reverse vape. So a lot of the characters we have right now are limited by ICDs. So we know that not all of their shots, right, will be able to get the reaction, as compared to in the past where you have something like Xiangling who can vape all her Pyronado, Ganyu who can reverse melt both of her charge shots, Hu Tao that can reverse vape her charge attacks, all this, right. Now such a days, right, this kind of thing doesn't really exist anymore. Rare occurrence, I will actually say. Then for Dehya's case, I actually wouldn't, even if I want to play her as a DPS, right, I wouldn't really ban on the the vape reaction, because the vape frequency isn't very high. So I'll probably just go with most likely a pure pyro kind of application, like for example, Lava Walker or all these kind of builds, right, to see if I can make her work better rather than thinking about whether can I vape or not. That is probably the direction that I will want to look at if I want to play her as a DPS. But let's be very open about this. Is unfortunately, I really think that even if I triple crown her, right, the damage numbers will still feel a bit lacking when we talk about playing Spiral Abyss. Then of course, when we talk about overworld experience, right, unless you have the intention to use her to hack and slash, meaning her normal attack, which is the white damage, even the clearing mobs experience will feel less efficient. That's how I would say, less efficient as compared to the other characters, because her Leonine Bite uptime is actually not very very fantastic, you see. Even if you can keep it up, meaning you can cycle through the 70 burst cost, duration is 4 seconds and the CD is actually 18 seconds, so there is a 14 seconds downtime. So this 14 seconds downtime, what are you going to actually do about it? This thing, right, the trigger frequency, right, is 2.5 seconds. Where is the 2.5 seconds? Yes, this is 2.5 seconds. So the damage application for her case, right, once her burst is over, right, is actually not very high. It's similar to how, for some of you, if you have actually played Albedo before, right, when you drop the flower on the floor, then you throw the burst, right, then there is really not a lot of things that Albedo can do already. Like he cannot be on the main field to be keep on doing the damage. You will need to swap to someone else already. So at very best, what I can think of is probably playing her as a sub DPS if you like it, and also see her as more of the tanker in your team to help you to absorb damage. As long as you don't get one shot, that is the prerequisite. I will invest Rosaria when I've done with Faruzan. That is nice. Then we have a look at briefly. Oh, what is this? Okay, this is lion. You know, like a Leo. Her constellation wise, right? Excuse me. Her constellation wise, I actually briefly had a look, right, and I really felt that this C1, right, is a really very nice upgrade for her, because we know that part of her scaling actually comes from hit point. Then when you do a reality check again, the first fact check we have on hand is we see, okay, Dehya actually can have quite a lot of hit point since it comes from her weapon, but you know part of her scaling also comes with attack. Okay, that's fine. Then when we have a look at another character, which is Yelan over here, right? Then we go and think about it. Why is Yelan damage so good? Then when you see, okay, of course this is a C6 Yelan, but when you go and think about 3 levels down, right, skill damage, right, doesn't have any attack, but this is pure HP scaling. It's probably should be close to about 40% max hit point. So the scaling is close to about 40% max hit point for the E skill. And this one, we can actually just assume that times 3 at level 10 should be probably about 8%. Let's just round it down. 8% times 3, that is about still 24% per wave. 24% of hit point per wave scaling. We don't talk about C6 Yelan, so we just keep it this part. Then you go back and have a look at for her case, right? Right now this is only level 7. The field damage is not even 100% of her attack at level 7, and it's only like what 1.55% of max hit point. So it will give you a very good idea how much of a difference the scaling will be. Then when you think about the Leonin bite, which this is the punch and this is the kick. So at level 7, the punch gives you skills about for 2.54, and the final kick additional 3.58. It's actually very conservative, the scaling. Then when you look at this, increase her max hit point. Okay, that's fine. Then Molten Inferno 3.6%. Okay, nice. It's actually quite a lot though. Further, because this is further increased by 3.6%. Just now when you look at the level 7, it's 1.55%, you know. 3.6, that is double of it, you know. And this Leonin bite will be increased by 6% of her max hit point. What did we just saw? 2% plus, was it? So this part, the C1, when you activate it, you will feel more damage coming in. Of course, I do not think that it will be the state that you will be like, wow, suddenly C0 to C1 she from nothing become a big deal. That is not going to happen. But you will be able to see with all this additional scaling along with the crit stats after multiplying with all the buffs, right, the numbers will definitely look way more decent as compared to what most of the users see at Constellation 0. So I do think that this C1 in future, if let's say you're 50-50, you didn't win and she comes home, getting this C1 is actually not exactly a loss if you are one of Dehya's fan. Then we talk about this C2, right? I don't really know, man. The damage dealt by its coordinated attack will be increased by 50% within the field. Of course, when you factor in C1 already, I do think that albedo trigger, you know, that transient blossom thing, right? Damage will be increased quite fairly well after when you have C1. Increased by 50%. The numbers will definitely be bigger, but of course you need to remember that it's still a 2.5 seconds interval. At the very best, I mean, offhand, I don't have the calculation, but just looking at this alone, right, I can tell you that with this C2, right, probably the ticks from that E field, right, will match Albedo's Transcend Blossom. I don't know if that's the name for the thing, but you know when Albedo hits, that flower will trigger. You will actually have a Joe attack. Usually it's about 5 digits, like 19 to 20,000, depending on how well you build Albedo, if you actually have him. So I do believe that this C2 will probably gives you a number around that level, depending on how many buffs did you actually use as well. So still okay, but I don't think this is really as big as the C1 itself in terms of having her. If I mean all these are with the intention that you want to have her on field to fight something, because if you don't have her, the intention to have her on the field to punch, knock the daylight out of the enemies, right? Then these two constellation might not matter that much. But I don't think that's the point, right? You put for Dehya, then of course you want to have her running on the field to start hitting enemies, right? If you get her, then you always swap her off field, just leaving the sword behind. Then it will feel a bit empty, you see. I mean, this is just speaking from a fanboy's point of view, because you know, when I put for a character, no matter how bad this character might seem, right, I will still insist on using this character, trying to hack and slash on the field. That's me. I don't know if you guys are on the same page, but if a character is bad, fine. You still have to be on the field to hit something, because I want to see you in action. Right, this thing, right, this Constellation 4, I mean Constellation 3 is a very standard increased talent level, so let's just keep it. We will look at this Constellation 4 wise, right, where it talks about the ultimate elemental burst. When she starts punching the shit out of the enemies, right, it says that it will actually restore 1.5 energy for Dehya, and also the 2.5% of maxi point. This effect can be triggered once every 0.2 seconds. So if I recall correctly, her punches, if you actually do mash the button, right, the E and your left click, I actually don't know which button you should be mashing, but you should be pressing. Don't just let her auto attack. She can do about, I guess, about 10 to 11 punches. If I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. It should be about 10 to 11 punches. I briefly counted when I fought. So when you have a C4, right, then you go and think about it, right, about 10 punches, all this, right. Let's just run it down for easier calculation. 10 punches, 15 energy. So her burst cost from 70, right, is reduced to 55. Remember earlier on, I told you guys about this Jin's Ascension, which when she used her burst, it will get refunded. Yeah, nowadays you see, they put a high burst cost on a character, then they sell you the solution. You get a C4, your burst will be reduced up to maybe about 55 energy. 55 energy, although for the last case where that sword doesn't really generate a lot of particles, might still seem a lot, but it becomes more manageable and more realistic to cycle through. Then of course this 2.5% of her max hit point, right, is always welcome, because she can keep herself alive as well, since she's a tank, you know. So you see, this C4 is actually good for her if you really want to have her on the field. And also, truly, this is selling you the solution for the problem they created. I mean, I'm very, very blunt, but this is really a fact. And of course, C6 being C6, and C6 always should be strong. So we talk about the punches is increased by 10%. Then of course, this one will tell you that every punch, right, your crit damage, right, will increase by 15%. What I say, hits an opponent is used crit hits, it will cause the crit damage to increase by 15% for the rest, and extend the duration, so it increased by 15% crit damage. extend the duration by 0.5 seconds. So it can be extended for a maximum of 2 seconds, and crit damage can be increased by up to 60% this way. So pretty obvious. This actually gives you crit and crit damage. Nowadays, a lot of all the constellation, like even you thinking about our item, all this, right? Their C6, right, gives you a direct crit damage increase and crit rate, meaning a solid DPS boost. But this is C6, a bit too far-fetched for us to discuss. But let's just say that my personal view is that C1 is actually really very good. C4 is also very very good to cycle through the burst. C2 wise, on hand, when I look at this, right, I really couldn't figure out how useful this will be. This fiery sanctum will actually increase by 6 seconds. So, of course, nice because the cooldown is so damn long. Increase by 50%. I mean, it's still a good quality of life increment, because that is probably the best thing I can think of. But C1 is the thing that I felt that to use as an on field, she will feel slightly more viable. But most importantly is that when we play this character at this very moment 3.5, right, we know that her kit probably is just a part of a puzzle for a possible team comp in future. I do not know. This is just my speculation, because they playing the game for about like what, 2 years. They do have the tendency to just throw out bits and pieces of the puzzle, then confuse the whole community. Then we have no idea what exactly is this character going to do or going to serve as. Then suddenly, as more and more comms come out, this character might be from some shit tier suddenly ascend to some god tier. You will never know. Of course, I wouldn't be, like how I shared in my post, right? I wouldn't be encouraging you to pull for a character just based on speculation like this, because Primo Gems are money, are hard-earned currency, and it's a limited resource. So if you really like Dehya, of course you should pull for her, no hesitation about this. But other than that, right, if you don't really see the need to, or you can already handle most of the content, right, you should continue observing and pray that in future when you pull for other characters, if you lose, right, you get her, because she's going into the standard banner. There is no guaranteed way to be able to get her in future, because standard banner characters most likely wouldn't be able to get their own limited banner, except for Keqing, I suppose. But that aside, we discussed about the strengths and weakness for Dehya, right? Character design wise, right, I personally am pretty fond of her though. I do think that she looks really very great. I mean, initially when I just look, then I just felt that okay, it's just okay. Just felt that it's a very okay-ish character. Then after that, as I play the game more, then having a look at her again, then I felt that actually she looks quite cute also. I don't know why, but anyway, if you ask me, did I regret pulling for her? The answer is absolute no. I kind of like her. Is there any character that I can play right now? Oh, at least they are more attractive than Chi. Chi, let's just not bring up the sad past we actually have with Chi, okay? Maybe Baiju will, when Baiju release, then Chi might be able to I don't know, I really can't think of any nice way to put it to salvage Chi, man. I think it's yeah, I really cannot think of a good way to put it, man. Let's be real, is that her constellations are probably one of the shittiest in the whole game. The character wise, right, initially I really do like Chi quite a lot. I think I like her the best is when she appears in storyline and just I have come to help you, all this kind of, you know. But when in terms of using her a character as a player's point of view experience, right, she is not a very comfortable experience. So there's no better way or a nicer way that I can put it to help her though. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think what I will do is I see whether can I pair up with do I really want to pair her up with Xiangling, or do I want to pair up with Nahida? That is a kind of a conflict right now, that because her DPS downtime is so wide that I actually do not know how do I actually want to, you know, how to play her, because her kit itself, I honestly feel that it's really not very suitable to stay on the field for too long. I really despise Chi more than anyone in my life and Genshin career. I don't really blame you for thinking this way though, because when we think about when we want to speak very logically, we will actually see that Chi's DP, her constellations and her kit, right, has almost zero trust in each other. You see, her constellations is pretty much about increasing her attack proficiency. We know Chi's healing scales off her attack, that is true, but primary, she is not a DPS, so I'm not too sure why is her synergy in this way, and her ability to revive character has such a super long cooldown, which is really very you know, very questionable. I have no idea why is it done in this way, but well, it is what it is. Nothing much I can actually say about it. I this is the first time when I do a showcase video, right? During the release, right, I'm having so much difficulties, right? Okay, let's try to excuse me, carefully think about how should I be playing her. Oh, wow. The feels like actually it is still the other guys doing the damage though. But the point is that the one punch, right, is only like what 10 over thousands of damage, right? You know, with so many buffs. But I still like the thing about the damage reduction and the iron body effect. Yeah, am I able to take it? Yeah, I can. I can tank through this whole thing using Dehya because she's so damn tank. Okay, maybe not, maybe not. When I play, I really wish that the punches, right, even at C0, right, can give me way more nicer numbers. That is how I felt. Oh, another thing I also don't understand is why when Dehya uses her burst, right? You cannot actually jump. Hey shit! Let me get out! Oh no, I need to plant this prematurely, man. Oh, wait, did I just burn myself to death? I shall revenge. Oh, now it's only you, boy. This is taking forever. That one hit point. Oh. You know, I will be really very happy if her punches give much more damage. If she's able to give the iron body effect much longer, maybe throughout the whole E duration. Right? As long as I plant the E, I stay in the field, I get forever iron body kind of mitigation, right? That is greatly welcome. Yeah, I wish she could hold her own a bit more. Her hits do so little damage. You see is that most of us playing this game, right? When we talk about value, there are probably two areas that we will be looking at. Firstly is that we talk about DPS. Of course, we know that certain characters designed in the game, they are meant to do damage. So we have our expectations that this character should be able to churn out solid amount of damage when we give them the relevant support and buffs. So that is one category. So that is the DPS showcase. If a character is unable to dish out a lot of damage, then the next thing we as players we will want to find out is what kind of supportive value this character can bring to my team. Such as, for example, reduce resistance, elemental application, or do you provide extremely powerful healing and also other value added abilities, shields, all this. So we will try to use these ways to actually gauge how much value this character brings to the game. For Dehya's case, I believe that first impression when I look at Pyro, at least for me, right, I would think that she's a DPS. Whether she's a reaction related DPS or just pure Pyro, to me she just looks like a DPS to me. But in reality, when she's released into the game, she's not likely going to be a DPS character. At the very least, that is how I feel. So we want to evaluate the next area that she can offer is support. So does she give super buffs or this and that, attack buff, damage buffs to the team? Not at the moment. She doesn't bring any very offensive buffs to my team. Does she is she a sub DPS, like for example, like like Xingqiu, that can help to perform coordinated attacks when my main DPS is on the field? Yes and no. The frequency is too wide, 2.5 seconds, and it's within the field, and it's not easily redeployable like Albedo's flower. It has a goddamn long cooldown. So the next thing we look at is, does she heal? She's not a healer. Then last is, does she provide shields? She doesn't. So then the next thing I will ask myself is, so what value does she bring to the team? So like I actually said, the mitigation and the iron body effect is these together, right? Someone actually does it better right now. Like how I mentioned, job vacancy has been filled. But when new team comes arise in future, who knows? There might be new types of job vacancies available for Dehya to shine. But we wouldn't know because I don't work in Horrorverse. I do not know what kind of plans. If it comes to be a flop kind of case, right? That where in future all the characters they release, Dehya doesn't have a vacancy, then it will be pretty disappointing because I personally cannot say that I cannot be liking every character in the game. But for me, I don't want to see a character being doom posted or feels really very bad to use, especially for a 5-star character. I mean, sometimes we explain to ourselves that this is a 4-star character. This 4-star character might have its users, but it's after all a 4-star character. Then we try to give ourselves some leeway over this. But if you happen to be a 5-star character, regardless if you are a limited banner character, we do have our expectations that whether you are in the standard banner or not, if I happen to lose and get you, it doesn't change the fact that I spend primo gems to get you. You see, you get what I mean? I still spend money or my hard-earned time to gain the primo gems to obtain you, even though I lose my 50-50. So naturally, I still expect some return of investments, you see. So naturally, I hope that there will be some kind of artifact similar, like for example, for Kokomi's case, the moment she get her artifact, she felt much better to use. I hope that is the same for Dehya. Who knows, maybe there might be some remedy right off the bat next patch to makes they are more viable? I do not know. But if the answer is a yes, then of course it still goes back to the question is why would you want to release the game in such a way? If you want to promote a character's sales or make a character feels good to increase the popularity, then have everything set up in the first place. Meaning when she's release the domain. Why do you have to release the domain one patch later or something, or a few patch later? So I have to cope with this all the way until that. Then every single day passed doesn't change the fact that it's another day of unpleasant experience. Bro, what's your Yelan cons? Is that C6? I realize your Yelan is so strong. Yes, Faris, that is a C6 Yelan. When she was first released, I already have her at C6R5. It's one of the very few characters I have at full constellation. Not every character I will actually pull for full comms, unless right off I can already see that they have very long future career path. I will immediately go for the full constellation. So this is one example. So yeah, so this is value. This is I earlier on mentioned, like, this is value for money. Like, she can fulfill a lot of jobs, she can do a lot of things, she can even fulfill as a DPS role. So sometimes Horrorverse makes me feel that it's better to just wait to pull on their rerun. Characters seem to release incomplete too often. Yeah, that is exactly what I wanted to express. You see that we don't take Dehya for example. We take Kokomi for example. When Kokomi was released, they fixed a few things about her, which is the hydro application tick rate of the jellyfish, which is a nice welcome. But at the end of the day, because she is not a DPS, even no matter how hard you're going to try, right? Because due to the negative crit rate effect, right? No matter how she isn't going to perform as impressive as the other main DPS does. And plus, when she was released, right, she don't have her specialized artifact set yet. So she herself, right, is getting doom posted to the depths. You see, okay. But then again, when you carefully think about this, right, you guys think about it, right, Kokomi being a Hydro character, right, Hydro is in a very good position right now. Sometimes it's not just about your character's key, it's about your element. If you release a Geo character, I mean, I'm not against Geo character, but Geo reaction simply suck right now. I mean, what besides crystallize, what else does it do? Create structures to block my way while I'm trying to run, or create to let me climb on it when during the important moments or this. So we know that we know that Hydro is in a very good position right now. Hydro is a fundamental enabler for freeze teams. Hydro can enable reverse vape. Hydro can create a lot of even electro charge, hyper bloom effects, all this. All your bloom, all this fundamental effect requires Hydro. So Hydro is in a very good position. So Kokomi right now is even in a better position because not only she's a healer, she's also Hydro. But when you think about Pyro, which used to be the king of the elements, if your Pyro application isn't solid enough, like for example Hu Tao or Xiangling, then your opportunity to being as a DPS to do reverse vape comms is pretty much non-existent. Burning suck balls. I mean, this is crude language, but burning suck balls really. It's either you burn yourself to death, or you just watch the enemy slowly burn. Most likely you will burn yourself to death first. Let's be real about this. So burning suck. Overload, let's not just talk about it. Overload is only effective if the enemy applies onto you. Like for example, there are two consecrated beasts in the abyss, right? One that firebird, that pyro bird, and the lightning scorpion, right? When they do overload on you, you will get one shot. It is only effective on you. When you do overload to the enemies, of course the damage is nice, But then again, how much damage is that? So so the next thing is we talk about Bajan. But Bajan right now, Thoma does it better. Serious. So right now, if you release a pyro character like for example Dehya, we definitely will want to see if she can vape or not. The first thing, because of course we always want to do the DPS way first. Let's just face it. We want our characters to hit hard, hit nice numbers, slaughter the enemy. That is the truth. So Dehya is unable to churn out very high numbers at the C0 level. Okay, that is fixed already. You don't need to argue with me on this unless you have some goddamn whale account or whatever, man. But for most of the general players, her numbers are not going to be very, very high. At least not to the state that you can destroy the Spiral Abyss and claiming that it is they are doing the damage, Then so then aside, have to really seriously wait to see upcoming comms, what will they actually bring us. If not, she will seriously be in a very awkward position. The saddest thing about the selling part, right? Her best selling part right now is actually her sword. Her sword is actually more so-called more valuable than her kit right now. This claymore is actually very, very good. That's how I feel right now. Then when they start to release this kind of incomplete set, right, then it will make players think that I should wait for a rerun. But the thing is, I don't know what kind of trick they are using right now. They are going to put Dehya into standard banner. So when you put into standard banner means that there is no guaranteed way I can get her even if I want to. Just look at how I have spent so much money into a game, and until today my Diluc is still not C6. My Keqing is not C6. So this kind of thing is very RNG. There's no guaranteed way you can get her unless you pull her for now. But how am I supposed to tell you to pull her for now during this period when I myself is not exactly convinced how should I be playing her? I actually had this is probably the first character I really had difficulty trying to do a very proper showcase of how I wanted her to be. Of course, there are still ways that I can showcase her, because I still want to let everybody know we are here to try to make things work and not to doom post a character. But right now, the career prospect is not looking very promising. That is the final conclusion I have after playing her for a while. And I definitely look forward to see more opportunity rises to have her perform better within the team synergy itself, which right now at the moment I couldn't figure out. Maybe tomorrow when I wake up I could suddenly think of something, then I will upload and share with you guys. Well, what did you guys say? I agree with you totally. I think they literally remove her from the game and revoke her from the ground. I don't care how long it takes. I want her to be at least functional. Yep. My original hope for Dehya is she will be Pyro Nilo and make burning great. She'll be super niche but super fun too. The thing, I'm on the same page as you. For me or for anyone who likes their character is whether they are, of course, if they can fit into many different comps, that is a best case scenario number one. Like for example Yelan, best case scenario. But if they are not designed to be in this way, we will want them to be functional. That is the absolute correct way to put it, functional. Whether niche or not, but at least those who invested the resources to obtain her will still get a portion of the investment back, meaning they can actually use her. In certain situations, this character can perform. Like for example, like if today Nilo's teams, although is strictly Hydro and Dendro, but in that particular environment is OP, is damn good. But right now, for Dehya, we don't see this situation happening. Of course, fingers crossed, maybe in future, a team comp might enable this to happen. But my limited brain juice cannot figure out how will that kind of team comp will actually look like, meaning you need to take damage. I do not know at the moment. if you are able to figure out, please do let me know, man. I'm pretty desperate to think of what kind of kit that we can actually look at in order to play Dehya's team. I cannot figure out what kind of comp that we are actually looking at. I honestly couldn't think of a team either. I haven't put her, even in theory I'm struggling as well. It's hard to think of a way to make her shine. You know, every one of you over here who watch my runs, right, will be able to experience something that I experience is, let's say today in the morning you sit down, you have the time, you want to make a video run. Then when you pick Dehya, then you'll be starting to think of what kind of comms should I make to make her look good. Because the idea of video is to make a particular character look good. We may need to re-record a lot of times, but the key thing is we want this character to look good in the video, so that when our viewers watch it, there's a feel good factor. I mean, after all, that is why we watch videos of the characters we like. It's the feel good factor that matters. The character being the hero or the heroine. That is at least me. I'm not a male chauvinist, but that's what the purpose of we watch this kind of videos for, is to feel good about a certain character or a gameplay. So for my case, this earlier today when I was making this video, the experience I felt is that, oh no, the damage is really lacking. So immediately I need to change the chain of thought that how should I be actually playing her. In the end, I thought of Xiao, the video that I actually uploaded. But of course, that is the best that I could make at the moment, because we know that in most cases, when you run Xiao, you definitely will want to have Zhongli, because you'll probably get interrupted in the mid-air, or you'll die somehow one way or another. So I'm glad that that video enabled Xiao to run with Dehya without Xiao dying, because due to the damage reduction. But outside of this, at the moment I'm not able to figure out how should I be actually playing her in this case. Even right now, as I'm sitting here speaking to every one of you over here, I couldn't even think of a comp that I could make her look good. It's not that she's bad, but it's just that the pieces are not in the game right now. There is no way to make her shine as it is supposed to be. Like, it's just a bit of a pity right now that I'm not able to think of a way. Even if I want to play with using Ganyu, right? I think that because due to my talent levels being too low, there is a chance that the damage reduction might be insufficient and Ganyu might still get one shot. Because Abyss 12 mobs really hit very, very hard. So right now at talent level 7, because I run out of the emeralds, those headbands already, you got them, the weapon and all the talent ascension consumes up a huge amount of all these resources, man. So there could be a chance that she can still get one shot. That is what I think. Wait, this guy always goes invisible. I hate this guy, man. I don't know, fingers crossed. Do you think that my Ganyu will be able to survive this? Because usually the comms that we use for Ganyu is male, right? It's usually with Bennett, Xiangling, and Zhongli. Although we have the Iron Body, which lasts us for about 9 seconds, I don't know if she's able to sustain the Magyu Kenki slash or not, because the Magyu Kenki slash is no joke, man. Try. Hey, sorry, I just saw this, man. Hey, Lay Pro, it's been a while, my friend. Carlos Kenzo says that only teams that I think that she is functional for Milk Ganyu and Hu Tao Double Hydro. Wo as an E-spam and instructors user. Wanderer and Xiao teams looks fine with Dehya for me as well, but I'm not sure the damage output option for sure. Try Kaya, Kazuha, Bennett, and Dehya. Kaya, Kazuha, Bennett. Hey, that is a bit similar to what I saw in the training, right? Oh my god, why is my game volume so loud? I'm going deaf, man. On a side note, I seriously still think that this quality of life change regarding the shield indicator, shield health indicator, they should still implement into the game, man. Oi, this guy. I haven't played this in a while, but why is my Guanyu's health so low, man? Is she missing some artifact pieces? Doesn't make sense, but okay. Oh no, I messed up my sequence. Come over, my friends. Why are you running? Why are you running? Oh no, I'm scared. Oh no, my Nahida died. Ah, that's a pity, man. It's really been a while since I played this second com. I really completely forgotten how the rotation should be already. Where are you going, bro? Oh my goodness, this electro guy is so irritating. Wait, why still die? Why is this AoE so big, man? Oh no, I died twice already. Oh, I don't think my mitigation is enough. I need to be really very careful about how I play. So if in the first stage I could have died so many times already, I am really not sure how am I supposed to survive the Magyu Kenki stage, man. Yeah, the electro guy will drain Ganyu's HP. It also actually interrupts you. Today, earlier on when I tried playing, you know, before Dehya plants the sword, right, she can be interrupted. I couldn't plant the sword, bro. Hey, what the fuck? Hey, wait, I shot the wrong guy again. Stop doing this. Hey, what the fuck? I cannot, man. No, I really think this is too frustrating to play. I'm not going to play this one. It's my... Oh, wait, why does my Ganyu... What is she actually wearing? Oh! She... Wait, what? She doesn't even have a full set right now. Okay, that was unfortunate. So where is... Oh, it's with Tina. Okay. Yeah, getting combo. Yeah, the moment I wanted to use my skills, right, I couldn't even do anything. Okay, let me see. What was the team that Faris was actually saying? Kaya, Kazuha, Bennett, and Dehya. Kaya. You guys didn't see this, okay? He is not using a Dao blade. You guys never see anything. Okay, so in this case, we will need some stat stick. So with that being said, of course we need some cryo as well, I suppose. Where Blizzard Stray, yeah? So how does it look? 85.3, 179.8. Okay, this guy is using Refinement 5 Primordial Jade Cutter. Kaya is Constellation 6 with talents level 7, 11, 11. Koizu wa dou da? Where Bennett? Okay. Where Kaya? Kaya is here. Okay, let's see what is going to happen. Okay. Oh my goodness, this guys. Hey, wait, oh yeah, I think Kazuha is doing too much damage already due to the EM, man. Holy shit. Yeah, there are probably too many rabbits for this Scorpion to handle. Holy shit, the energy recharge is horrible, man. Hey, wait, what the fuck? I died. Aisa, Shinja, this guy's hit like a truck, man. Whoa. Okay, another chance to try again. Whoa, no joke, man. What the fuck is that damage? Damn, son, I really wish that the punch will actually hit like much harder, man. The punch felt so damn good, bros. You know, this guy is actually standing here. Yeah, I can't hit him. What kind of sorcery is this, man? What? What? How did I die? I thought I was standing in a circle. But this guy can actually kill me when I'm actually inside the banner circle. What kind of damage are they actually doing, man? Oh god, why? Oh, this Nilo team, even against single target boss, can still perform until like this, huh? Wow. Oh no, oh no, you got me, a sucker. Bitch. Whoa, what was that damage? What the fuck? Okay, chance. Oh, that was sweaty. The mitigation, I think I need to actually level up the talent a bit more. I need at least two more levels, I guess, to level 9. Hey, hello, Diablo. Mark, you can get no chill. Yeah, bro, man. But at the very least, the comp that you just suggested, right, feels much more realistic. Feels much more realistic as compared to the earlier Ganyu that I was playing, right? The earlier that Ganyu team, right? I think I played a few rounds, right? I really felt that I really cannot make it, man. Your suggestion for the comms is much better and much more comfortable to play. But the point is that I need to get Dehya's E and the Q skill, right, to at least level 9 to have slightly more mitigation, I guess. Then who knows, maybe in future if I get the C1 and the C2, then we will be able to play more comfortably. Will that be a 2-2 challenge? Nope, today I'm going off soon, bro. I feel like the rotations for kayaking look a little too hard to line up, but it worked a lot better. I completely forgot that I need a bit more energy recharge on Kaya. I think that my Kaya just now earlier on only has about 120. Even though there is refund, but somehow in one way or another you will probably still need some energy recharge to make sure that the rotations are very, very smooth. So he wasn't able to cycle his out. That is point number 1. Then of course point number 2, which is the worst thing, which is earlier on the fact that I pointed out. Dehya's elemental burst skill cost is too high at C0. Her E skill contributes almost nothing to her own burst. I do not know what is the particle generation, but as far as my eyes can see, I didn't see any particle. All I can see is Bennett generating. Maybe every time when she performs a coordinated attack, there might be a chance that a particle might generate. But at a cost of 70, it is way too high. There is already a gap of 14 seconds. You know, when I finish the burst, right, there is a CD of 14 seconds. Within 14 seconds, I'm still not able to get my burst up. So the only way is either I don't equip this weapon, I switch to an energy recharge weapon such as a Fervonious Greatsword to keep up with the burst. But that is probably the best thing I can do, but she will have lesser hit point. But not that it really matters at C0, since the scaling from the hit point is 2% of the hit point is pretty much very, very negligible. It seems like it's like a joke, a pity on you, like I know your Dehya not enough damage, guys. Let me give you 2.54% of max hit point per punch as a form of pity, okay, so that you will do more than 10k damage with all the buffs, bros. That is sarcasm blatantly intended, man. The thing I suggest to just rotate not by Dehya's E. Use Bennett as a battery. I suggest Bennett Q, Kazu E, Kaya Q E, then Dehya Q for the rotation. Sounds like a cool thing, man. I'll definitely give it some tries once I have off the stream later on. I wanted Dehya, I got the D-loop. Bro, so you become husbando already, is it? I thought you... Are you going to spend again? I thought a waifu over meta, you should consider putting in a bit more money to try to get Dehya home. Else later she goes into standard banner, you wouldn't know when she will be getting home, man. Every time you trash talk me, Lisa, I need to trash talk you back, huh? Okay. Anyway, hopefully next week I'll be able to get her talents up to at least 8 or 9. Then we can do more testing and, of course, more discussion. I also definitely hope that you guys enjoyed today's live stream, and thanks guys so much for the active participation. It was incredible listening to everyone of you's point of view and also insight. Even as a content creator, I cannot be knowing everything. So everybody's knowledge and insight can always help me to improve the gameplay, so that we can share the information together and improve together as a whole. So once again, big shout out to all my channel members and also Wilton over here who is included. Thank you so much, I love you all. And also to all my active subscribers for the channel, and also everyone who is in the chat in this live stream right now. Thank you guys for always supporting me and also the channel. I look forward to produce more videos in the days coming ahead. So once again, if your day is starting out, I wish you a beautiful day ahead. And if your night is coming to an end, I wish you a good night's rest. Thank you guys, and sorry Diablo. I will see you guys next week, same time, Genshin Impact. Good night, everyone. This is IonStorm signing out. Peace out.